Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is The Thunder Show, aka WLTV, and today is a very big day on The Thunder Show, on this wine internet television program that you watch 5 days a week, and I appreciate that for. We are doing a drawing for a $500 bottle of wine. You left comments yesterday, and isn't it funny? Ma, I put out 360 episodes. I beg, I plead every 10, 15 episodes. I'm a good guy. I answer every email. I bleed out of my eyes for the Vaniacs. And isn't it funny that all these lurkers came out to get a free $500 bottle of wine? I mean, that's all I'm saying. Just look yourself in the mirror when you brush your teeth tomorrow. So, all of you peeps are in the house with all these little peepers. Look how small these are. I mean, I feel, this guy could have been a winner. Could have been a winner. I'm not going to tell you. It'll get sad. So we're going to pick one of your names out of here right now because I'm going to end up using this. This was the Spit Bucket Bree sent for my birthday. She did a great job. I'm probably going to let's get the drawing right out of the way. Let's get somebody super excited. What you're going to need to do is email me. There's a link right up here that says email Gary. And by the way, there's a link up here. You might see that it says Stumble It. And I've got to tell you, I've been having a lot of fun. It's been around forever, and eBay bought it. It's a big site, Stumble Upon. But if you've never played around with it, sign up for Stumble Upon. Maybe give us a stumble. But you need to check it out. It's actually a great 2-3 hour waster of time. You think Wine Library is a good 20-minute waster of time. It's actually quite interesting, and if you're into the internets, it's a site that you should be a part of. So check out that link, but email me winner, and we will organize it and confirm that you're the person with the username and IP address and all that jazz. So we're going to do that. Again, a 1990 $475 bottle of wine brought to us by Montana Legend Steaks. Those peeps really stepped up and did something cool. We appreciate it. And so, Piper, the winner of this generous contest is, oh my, making some noise, huh? There was one other person that just got dropped. I feel really, really bad. Dave Grega is the winner. And we're happy for Dave.
We had it.
Did you have it, Mott? Can you get it?
Goes out of folk there. Oh, that's about the best I can do.
All right. Well, Dave Grega, in this small little piece of paper, you just won yourself a $500 bottle of wine. Let's make somebody feel really sad. The second place person would have been Geoff, who's a longtime Vaniac. I feel bad. And the third person that would have had a chance, I'm just having fun now, is Evan. And the fourth person that would have won a $500 bottle of wine for doing nothing but leaving a comment is Gary P. I think I just talked to him on email. So Dave Grega wins. Young guy, I know who that is. Big win for him. Pretty rad. Pretty radul. All right, now we're going to spit on all of you. Let's get into the first wine. This is the Nora 2006 Albarino Rias Bias, 90 points, Josh Reynolds, 12 bones. And you might have seen how this show started. It started by me shopping, and I thought it'd be really cool today to basically walk into WL, walk around a little bit, and just kind of randomly walk around and really make pretend like sometimes, about a year ago I met with all the Maniacs in LA and we didn't have that much wine, so I went to the wine shop and bought a case of wine. That was a lot of fun. So, it's kind of fun for me to act like a consumer, and obviously it was weird and I couldn't downstairs. But I will tell you that if I was to buy and go into a wine shop, these are probably the selections that I would make. And let me tell you why. Let's get into why and then we'll taste the wines. The Nora I would buy because it's an Albarino and it was on display. It caught my attention. A lot of bottles, the good old retail trick. And I would have tried it. I mean, I know the producer and I like Nora. I love the 05. So, actually, I love the 04. Good producer. I would have definitely tried it. It was a good price. Now, I would definitely have picked up the Vino Chocolin 2006 Carmenere. Why? Well, because we just saw what happened a couple days ago with Vino Chocolin. We had a big episode where I went crazy for the reserve. And this is a Carmenere, which is a grape that you guys know that I tend to like and am interested by and always want to mix it up. So, I would definitely pick this up. And, $9 wine, so I would have gone there. And then, if you know The Thunder Show, if you know GV at all, GV's me, I love Petit Verdot. When I saw the Petit Verdot from Marquis de Grignon, I'd have to pick it up. And it's from Spain. I had not done a lot of Petit Verdot from Spain, so I'm excited about trying that. So, this is the kind of eclectic mess. A $12 wine, a $9 wine, and a $33 wine. Patrick Ewing, baby. So, that's how I roll. I like to mix it up, Can I afford some more expensive wine? I can from here and there, but I love finding values, and the Carmenere would really be a lot of fun if it rocked. So that would be my thought process going through a wine shop. I like the number 3. It's a nice little bottle number to buy at a time. So that's it. Nora, 2006 Albadino. We did that, Mott. I don't want to double it up. It's all your fault. So let's see what's going on here. 12 bones. Joe Namath's number. And give it a little rinsey rinse, and oh, awesome. Let's get into it. I know. Excited for Dave Grega. I mean, that's big. $500. Sniffy sniff. Beautiful pineapple, exactly what I expect. I mean, if you don't know what Albadino is, it is a white wine that I think is exploding in the Rías Baixas area of Spain that I think is really... You know, you might remember we did the Black Pig, which I still get 5 emails a day on Black Pig Albadino, and so many people coming into the store for it. It was a big hit, sold out, trying to get more, but that really opened up a lot of people's attention when I really pushed that and got people to try it. I'm a humongous fan of Albadinos. I think they really have the potential to become the new passion and obsession for crisp, clean white wines in America, surpassing, you know, you've got to watch what I've seen over the last 10 years. Pinot Grigio, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and now I really believe that Albadino is poised. A little expensive, that's where it's really becoming an issue, but this one's only 12 bones. Great press from Josh Reynolds, who writes for Stephen Tanzer, who writes the International Wine Cellar, which is a very important publication in the wine industry. So I'm excited about seeing what's going on here. Again, nice color, beautiful nose. I'm getting some really gorgeous pineapple. I also get a little bit of cactus juice coming through. If you ever had the cactus juice, it's kind of interesting. And a little hint of a star fruit. There's also a little action, they feel like all little components of cantaloupe, which I'm liking quite a bit. Add a little lemon spritz, and you've got what's going on here. Let's give it a whirl. I can't, it's so funny. The lemons are coming through very obviously. Now, what I'm getting a lot here, guys, is a peach component, believe it or not, which is ironic given all the other flavors, but then a really good old solid. You know when you get the sliced pineapples in a can, dole, and there's the juice inside, if you drink that, that's really prominent and obvious. So if you're a fan of pineapple juice, you need to come and seek this out. It's kind of dull, kind of, on the finish, which is bothering me a little bit. It's got some good acidity. It's a solid Albadino, but I wouldn't say has the oiliness that I adore. I love the oil, almost like your face oil. You know, like I just love that oily texture, olive oil texture in your mouth that you get from Albadino. Lacko in here, and because it's lacking, it's making me sad. A solid effort, something I could see a lot of people drinking, with salmon or other things of that nature, but really a wine that doesn't do it for me. Not the best example of Albadino to me, mainly because of the mouthfeel. I like the flavors. I think they're interesting. A little too fruit juicy for me. I really do feel like I just went to 6th grade, traded my sandwich for a juice box. Yeah, Mom, I used to do that. Anything sweet. Hey, you want this unbelievable sandwich that my mom worked so hard on for that juice box? Yeah, all right. So, I feel like I just traded my lunch for a juice box, and usually a quarter. I like the quarter, And then we play that football game. Do you remember that game, Mom? You'd spin it, and you'd have to catch it with your 2 thumbs, and then throw it, and the person would have the... It's so awesome. And nobody could beat me in table football. Nobody. I guarantee anybody watching WLTV, next time you see me, let's step it up. I guarantee, in the triangle football, nobody can beat me. As a matter of fact, I actually lost one game to Ian Heffernan in music class in 8th grade. I cried, and the school went into complete brouhaha because it was such a shocking upset. I think it was like 48-0, and we all had our own little footballs. It was a small school. My parents moved to Huntington. Where am I going? Anyway, so 87, 88 point type wine for me. I'm going to go 87 points for Lavernius Coles. And I'm going to say it's a solid effort. You won't be bothered at 12 bones, but I think there's other opportunities for other Albadinos. We'll do a show on Albadino to see if we can find one that I think does a little better. And Nora is very popular and sells extremely well, so it's a little slightly disappointing for me. Vino Chacalin. Now this, we went crazy about the Reserva, which is a $24 wine. This is a $9 wine. And I noticed that we don't even have a tag on the shelf. This is just bad marketing from a wine retail standpoint. This wine's a 90-point wine from J. Miller. Maybe that's why we don't... No, J. Dr. J. I adore. Carmenere, which is one of the original grapes from Bordeaux, but has found new life in South America. $9 US. 9 bones. I mean, this is CKC. I haven't used CKC in a long time. If you're a new viewer, CKC, College Kid Crew, holla. 9 bones. This is CKC money, no doubt. 90 points, Jay Miller, from a producer that already, see, this is where Wine Library did a bad job downstairs, because if the Shelf Talker was on it, might have grabbed 2 or 3 bottles. Mott, let's fire somebody. Let's fire somebody today. Anyway, 9 bones, 90 points, Jay Miller, who's now writing for Robert Parker in a lot of areas, including South America, Australia, and Spain and a lot of places. 14% alcohol content. Carmenere is a very interesting grape. Really, a lot of people have attached to it, like Malbec from the South America area, have really shined down there in that climate. Ripens earlier, and just really interesting wines coming from the Carmenere grape down there. 9 bones. I'm super pumped to taste this. Again, the rationale as a shopper is exactly what you guys do. I'm no different. I'm not a robot. Or am I? She's a small wonder. Remember that show that freaked me out? Anyway, I'm excited. I need to calm it down. Mutt, should I calm it down? Really? They're going to get mad at you because I'm going to calm it down. They're going to blame you.
No Red Bull before the show.
Do you know I've never had a Red Bull in my entire life? Not one. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to taste this fine beverage of fruit juice from South America. Anyway, so Carmenere has done really a great job in this area, and a lot of people are really excited about what's going on in South America. I actually think South America is very tricky. South American wines were not doing well. There were some good values. Then Consumer Reports loved the Walnut Crest and Conchitora, and they got hot as heck, and everybody kept drinking them. And then over the last 4 or 5 years, I really thought they dipped heavily, and every time I would see somebody, how about those South American wines, huh, Gary? And I'd be like, no. But over the last year, I've come to realize that there's been some serious thunder coming out of this area in the world, so I'm excited. They've been showing up really well lately for me, and this is, once again, a producer I'm super excited about, and I was going to the point of, you buy producers you're comfortable with, which is very dangerous, but hopefully this comes through dramatically. Anyway, gorgeous color. I'm happy about that. Pour a little bit for all the homies that missed out on the Vino Chuckoline Reserve that I'm still getting emails and death threats about. Sniffy sniff time. And holy majoli, this is pretty interesting. This is one of the most distinct noses that I've come across in a long time on WLTV. I'm telling you right now, flat out, this is pickle juice with dill, basil, and green peppers. Period. Mott, come on. I like teaching Mott. Mott's learning along the way. He's learned a lot about it. Tell me that is not the most vegetal wine you've smelled so far.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that insane?
I don't smell the pickle juice, though.
You smell the bell peppers and the
peppers.
dill. The dill is insane.
That was very prominent.
This is like your aunt that uses way too much dill every time she brings over food or you eat over her house. This is a dill monster. Ooh. Very, very heavy on the veggies. If you know anything about me, I love that, so I'm excited. There is a hint of little cherry on the finish, which I'm enjoying, but boy, is this really heavy on the vegetables. Let's give it a whirl. It's funny, look. It's funny. Do you see it?
Oh, there you go.
Anyway. Not bad. Very fruit juicy. If I'm gonna rain on Barossa and South Africa, Southern Australia and the Barossa and just all those fruit bombs that we get out of Australia, I'm gonna have to mention this is a fruit bomb, and it tastes very fruit juicy with alcohol and then vegetables. It really seems like somebody spiked your high school punch and then for some unknown reason threw some Whole Foods products inside. Really, really awkward in a weird way. This is a tricky wine. This is actually almost like Yellowtail on steroids with a shot of hard alcohol. So at some level, I see a lot of people actually enjoying this wine. I am not one of them. I'm actually laughing at myself because I've fallen for my own trick that I scream about. I mean, I have to stop being a hypocrite. You know, I really just assumed this was going to be good. It's got good press. It came from a producer that I just had a wine that I loved. And it's not. It's far from, actually. I mean, I love the nose, which is a big factor and which will save it on my score in my own little mind. But at best, especially with that awkward finish, this is an 84-point wine. I find it disjointed and completely hollow in the mid-palate. The initial flavors are fine. Then it's almost like I'm not drinking anything, like there's nothing in my mouth. It went completely Casper the Friendly Ghost on me. And then it finishes with an awkward, funky kind of dill, vodka, yellowtail concoction that's just awkward. So, I'm going to give this wine a pass, but the nose was so powerful, we got to give it some decent score. But all in all, not a wine that I'm super enthusiastic about. Petit Verdot. Marquis de Grignon, the Grignon 2002 Estate Petit Verdot, all from their vineyards, $33 US, 92 points, wine enthusiast. As I'm pouring this, I'd like to wish everybody who celebrates it tonight a happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah early this year, not crazy early. Gotta go shopping on Black Friday just to get gifts. And while I'm in the mood for shout-outs, I want to give a huge shout-out to somebody that you Vaniacs have to know about. Somebody that's really cool, who put together one of the best episodes of Wine Library TV history. His name is Jason Hicks. Jason, I wish you'd come back. If anybody knows how to get a hold of Jason Hicks in California, get him on the show. He put together a clip that we aired on Wine Library TV that will blow your mind. And Mott, let's link it up. Episode 125. If you've never watched this, this is still some classic stuff. Great job by him, right? Anyway, great color. Nothing crazy going on. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Now, Petit Verdot is very interesting. I don't know if a lot of you have ever had Petit Verdot. Oh, actually, you know what? I can show off. See? I'm showing off those skills. You're not beating me in table football. Mott, that's cake. But they can't see it, so it won't be as cool. Anyway, I did what I had to do, right down the middle. Pat Leahy style. Petit Verdot is also a grape that is commonly used in Bordeaux, especially a long time ago. It's actually fallen out of favor because it's a late ripening grape, and then a lot of times it gets colder and the grape falls apart. It's a very tough grape to transition, but in the southern hemisphere or in warmer climates, it's actually done a lot better, and the New World has really embraced Petit Verdot. Now, it's usually used to add some tannins, some back-end structure, color, and bouquet, but I honestly think Petit Verdot can do it by itself, and I, for one, am a huge fan of PB and single-handedly on my shoulders trying to bring Petit Verdot, and right now it's, you know, still I can't move, but hopefully with your help and people trying it, I think PB can be something special, and hope we can look back at this video in 3 or 4 years and I can be like, what'd I say, Mott? What'd I say? So I'm excited about this. I love PB, 14.5% alcohol content, monstrous wines, great little nose. There's some really nice creamy vanilla aspect, but there's also an eggnog coming through. And PB, let me tell you, flat out, a great bottle of Petit Verdot is my wet dream. So I am seriously interested and hoping that this will bring the thunder. Again, 92 points enthusiast, wine enthusiast, $33 US, so it's got Patrick Ewing's number. Everything is on point. A beautiful, creamy, spearminty, eggnoggy kind of nose. And let's give it a whirl. Really pretty cassis flavors. So sour, so ripe. Dark chocolate coming through as well. There's also a musty cave kind of component going on with this wine. I also feel like I'm eating waffles for some unknown reason, but the only thing I can come to mind is that I'm using the raspberry syrup that I tend to like on my favorite Belgian waffles. Now, it is really one-dimensional and very focused. The tannins are ripe and complete. This wine kind of falls apart on the finish. It's a wine that starts to break down. What I like to call this is a MacGyver wine. For some unknown reason, I think of when I think of cliffs, I think of MacGyver. I feel like he's falling off a cliff, and then he takes some gum out of his, right? And like a hair. And, oh, look, a pig snout, and wraps it all together and turns it into like some sort of concoction and like saves himself and then becomes Pitfall and wins the day. I call this MacGyver wine because it's falling off the cliff and it's not going to be saved. The way MacGyver should have never been saved. Right before Monday Night Football, so I used to watch it, you know what I mean? Anyway, this is MacGyver wine. This wine is rocking and rolling in a lot of ways and then really falls off the cliff on the finish. Not that the flavor's still not there, but it gets awkward and funky and loses its focus at some level for me. It goes away from this really inky cassis pomegranate type flavor and it starts converting almost to almost like piney, needly pine needles and which is not bad, but I don't know, just awkward. It also gets a little bit too too alcoholic and off balance on the finish. And this stinks because this is what a lot of Petit Verdot critics will talk about this wine not being able to stand on its own merit. And this is an example of a wine that they're right about. It just doesn't stand on its own. It's a wine that screams to be blended with something else, something softer. You know, using this beautiful Petit Verdot, it looks like it's there. And maybe blending it with 30-40% Merlot could really help this wine. Maybe over the next 5-10 years it can open up. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I don't see the back end, behind the scenes opportunity for that. I'm going to give this wine a pass. I'm going to give it 88 points because it's a solid bottle of wine, but definitely not something that I'm going to go out and scream and tell you to buy. And that, my friends, consummates an embarrassment. I actually don't know what else to say. I think I've actually been acting a little weird as I'm giving this note because I just realized that I went shopping and I went 0 for 3 for myself. So if I can do it, you definitely can go for 3 for yourself as well. But I will tell you this, though it may look like a loss, remember, building your palate, trying different things, experiencing things is very important. I was reminded that just because a producer makes a great wine doesn't mean I'm going to love it. And just because a varietal is my favorite thing going, I'll be very honest with you, these are my 2 favorite things going. This was a shopping experience for myself. Doesn't mean you're going to love that specific producer. Now, you're going to say, well, Gary, maybe that's why I keep going back to the same old thing and you keep screaming at me to try different things. If you don't think for a second that I feel better off in my wine world, in my wine wisdom, in my wine life than I did prior to doing this show, you are completely wrong. Because I feel like I've learned something, I've tried new things. I haven't had a MacGyver wine in a while, and it was kind of interesting to see this wine be so pineapple and then have such a peach flavor. And this was very vegetal and had all those cool things that I love, but kind of lost me with that incredibly hollow mid palate. For me, a wine that I've hardly ever seen a wine that open. I mean, gashing. Like a video game with no, like he shot the guy in the chest, but he's still alive zombie type thing. That's how open the mid palate is on this wine. I've learned something. And the key to wine is always experiencing, trying it, putting your toe in the pool and trying new things. I'm happy about that. I went to some old favorites because I kind of try to give you an example of what I really would have done if I went to a wine shop, but it didn't work out. I went 0 for 3. I've got a little egg on my face. I'm turning a little red in front of you. I apologize, but it's okay because we do it for you guys. It's all about you learning just a tad every time on WLTV. Question of the day. Where, specifically, do you do your food shopping? Oh, it might have been wide right. I'll still beat you. Because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world. See, this is what happens when you go 0 for 3. Tomorrow's the big contest. Tonight's the last night, up to midnight, to submit you to the widget contest. Link me up over there. Read it. Tomorrow's the drawing for you to be my co-host on WLTV, baby. See you tomorrow.